Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to talk about other things going on around crypto and real world events as well. CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz, says there is some reasonable chance that the lawsuit could be resolved in 2024. Other people are saying the SEC versus Ripple case could linger beyond 2024. Honestly, I'm hoping that this case wraps up by summer. I want to see XRP take off already. And you know, people keep putting dates on this case. You know when it's going to happen? When we all least expect it. Republican senators have gotten wind of the debt box fiasco where the SEC Gov intentionally misled a court in order to gain access to emergency relief measures against the company. The group of senators that includes J.D. Vance and Senator Loomis says it's skeptical of the mandatory training the agency is requiring for its lawyers as a remedy to the situation. Perhaps such training in the most elementary aspects of legal conduct is necessary. So they're blaming this on the lack of training. You know, in that debt box case, there were people stuck in a foreign country because their assets were frozen because of the SEC. It's time to stop sending letters and take action already. This cannot keep happening. And you know, as long as Gary Gensler is running the show, it's gonna happen again. Wait and see. And this comes from Stuart Alderati. Who else would hire him? He's politically toxic. He's a loser in the courts. His staff has been caught lying to judges. His agency's Twitter account was hacked in the most embarrassing way. And his sponsor at MIT quit because of close Epstein ties. Did I miss anything? Who would want to hire Gary Gensler when he's done at the SEC? And this is what he had to say. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said Wednesday he absolutely plans to stay on as Wall Street's top regulator should President Joe Biden win a second term in November. I love this job, Gensler said. Sure, he loves his job. He's getting rich from the big banks, and he's hurting the people that he's hired to protect, the retail investors. And you know, once he's done at the SEC, the day he walks out that door, crypto is gonna skyrocket like never before. Crypto adoption has been set in stone since the FTX debacle, similar to boom and bust of the internet bubble in the 2000s, which resulted on the Amazons, Microsofts, and Apples of the world being born. And you know, this comes from Smoke. And what he's saying is when the bubble popped, we were left with Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple. Same thing's going to happen in crypto. And people can deny it all day long. I keep seeing people say, meme coins are going to still be here once regulations come. No, they're not. They're going to regulate them out. And it's going to happen so fast, like an overnight event. And I think that's coming this year. And 99% of crypto will disappear. What we're left with is going to be utility and use case driven cryptocurrencies. These ISO cryptocurrencies. That's why I'm always telling people, you know, if you want a safe investment, it might be a boring investment because we're still waiting for everything to happen, but it's a very safe investment. Invest in ISO cryptocurrencies. You can get very rich from them. If you ever wondered why the crypto space feels so negative at times, just take a step back and realize that the average crypto investor has an income of $25,000. Many are desperate and determined to get wealthy during this cycle. That's why I give grace to those who may be frustrated. And I said that multiple times. I understand your frustration. You know, I work a 9-to-5 job that I want to quit Because, you know, I run network wires where nobody should be running wires. Crawl spaces, attics, hammer drilling through concrete walls all the time. And I want to quit that job. That's why I'm waiting for crypto to take off. And, you know, that's why I understand your frustration, because I'm frustrated too. But you know, the way we get there is by staying patient, staying positive, so we could all reach the finish line together. And you know, I plan on retiring from crypto off of passive income. I plan on never selling all of my XRP. I never plan on selling all of my XLM or my XDC or my HBAR. I plan on living off of passive income because I know those options are coming. But you know, you got to stay patient. You got to stop staring at the price of these cryptocurrencies. Because if you do, you will get full of frustration and you will end up selling way too soon. Everything is set to take off in 2024 because of institutional investment. What else needs to be said? And that's what I've been telling you. You know, this year is going to be huge for crypto. Sure, you were early to crypto, but now the institutional investors are coming on board. And what's bringing them here? Tokenization is going to be the biggest event that happens in crypto. All of that value sitting on these networks, moving on and off of these networks. And that's going to lead to very high prices on cryptocurrencies like XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR. You know, we are early, but we're very lucky. But I do believe 2024 is going to be a very big year. Just in, U.S. national debt reaches new all-time high of $34.2 trillion. And you know what? Nobody cares. They're going to continue to spend, and we're going to set new all-time highs time and time again because of this right here. Senators say they're not super worried about running up the national debt, as most of them will die of natural causes in the next year or so. You know, when I seen this, it's the same reason that whenever you see somebody talking about the Great Reset, it's always some old prick saying it, because they're going to leave us in a world of problems. You know, when Klaus Schwab's sitting there talking about digital IDs and CBDCs and putting chips in all of us, he's going to die off and we're going to be left with that. It's the same thing with these politicians in Washington. They don't care about spending money because they're just going to die and leave their problems behind. And generations to come are still going to be paying off this debt unless the new financial system rolls out, which they're also pushing for. But look at what McConnell said. He said, yeah, we're not too concerned about it. If any of us were in any position to be alive when it comes time to pay the piper, we might do things a bit differently. As things stand now, most of us have one foot in the grave already. So we're just going to keep tossing away the country's future. By the time things get really bad, we'll be out of here. And we will all be suffering when that happens. Even when the current financial system comes crashing down, there's going to be a period there that it's going to get very dark before the new financial system rises. Unless we transition from the current financial system right into the new financial system, then it might be a much better times ahead. But either way, however it plays out, XRP holders will get rich. If this guy has not watched the Putin interview, he and others in government are not serious about anything. Seriously, if Putin is your enemy and you don't watch the interview, you're irresponsible and should not have the job you have. Take a listen to this.
And I think anybody that watches that interview, again, I haven't seen whatever's said, need to make sure remember you're listening to Vladimir Putin. And you shouldn't take at face value anything he has to say.
You know, he definitely watched that interview. You could tell by his body language. And you know what he doesn't like is the fact that Putin told everybody exactly what's going on in the United States. He says oil-producing countries are already accepting payment in yuan. Do you realize what's going on? Do you know what this means? You are killing the US dollar with your own hands. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're killing the United States dollar. That's why they don't care about spending the way that they spend. And all that debt, they never plan on paying any of it back anyway. You know, we are living in a time where you could see the current financial system falling apart on a daily basis. And then there's this U.S. banking system, well capitalized despite risk, Yellen says. So this is what Janet Yellen has to say. The concern is that as commercial real estate loans come due, they will have to refinance in an environment of higher interest charges, lower valuations, and where vacancy rates are growing, adding pressure on the system. Vacancy rates in office buildings, especially in metropolitan areas, have surged, Yellen told the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs on Thursday. There is some risk, and there are some institutions that will face stress from commercial real estate, she said. For some banks, this will be a concern, but on balance, I'd say the system is well capitalized. At the hearing, Yellen also said regulators are eyeing risk related to non-bank mortgage lenders. You know, the banks are in trouble. Like I said, it only takes one domino, and commercial real estate is that domino. Once that falls, it's going to continue falling into the residential real estate market. Then it's going to fall into the car market. And then before you know it, we're going to start to see the banks collapse at the same time. And yet she wants you putting your money in the bank week over week. And I always said, you know, when they talked about bail-ins, that's because they're planning for bail-ins to happen. That's why I don't trust the banks. I trust crypto. I put all my money into crypto. You know, everybody always says to me, you know, what about the banks? And this is normies. And I tell them, you know, the banks aren't safe. My bank is selling insurance. I don't like the idea of that. Shows me that the things are going on behind the scenes. And I always tell them, you know, if you really want to put your money in a safe space, put it into crypto. At least at some point, you could get very rich off of crypto if you invest in the right way. The problem is that the same normies, they might realize that things are falling apart, but they still cannot bring themselves to realize that crypto is the way out. XRP is the way out. You know, when everything comes crashing down, XRP holders are going to get very rich. Wait and see. And you could already see it coming. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive. Let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.